I personally do not like when I go to events and I'm learning something and I feel like I can't retain the information because I have nothing to write down. So I made you guys a little worksheet so you guys can follow along. Oops, sorry.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have breakfast. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. And I do have some pens and pencils in case you guys need one. Oh yeah, did I miss you? I'm sorry.
Amazing. Anybody need a pen?
Okay, perfect.
Everybody got a pen?
Okay, so today I want to show you guys how to stop guessing what to post, and I want to share 3 content shifts that are going to build trust and drive sales. Like I mentioned before, I'm the owner of a marketing agency where we help businesses turn content into business growth and not just get likes and views. And the reason I wanted to talk about this was because I hear a lot from my clients that, they're posting on Instagram, but they're not getting engagement. And so I want to ask you guys, how many of you guys have ever posted on Instagram and then you think to yourself, I have no idea what to post? And raise your hand if that's you. It happens to a lot of us. So by the end of this, I want to give you guys types of content to post, how to turn your customer questions into content, and how to create content that builds trust but drives sales. So, and I took some notes, so if I'm looking at note cards. But one of the things that I always see is that it's not usually a content problem, it's a disconnection within telling your story and visibility. So for example, I heard that you clean for commercial companies. How many times have you posted maybe like a picture of you cleaning at a commercial business? And if we're not showing that, then people don't know the story of behind our business and what we're trying to do for them. And so if you feel like you're struggling with what to post, you feel like you're repeating yourself and you want more clients from social media, or sometimes you're posting but you're just not getting engagement, you're not getting likes, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to show you guys how to talk to one person, how to batch your content so that way you guys already have content on hand. And also stop waiting for the perfect moment to be ready. I tell myself that all the time. There's only my second workshop, and sometimes it does make me uncomfortable because I am bilingual. I speak English and Spanish, but I always tell myself I'm not going to get better if I don't practice. So one of the things that I would suggest is talk to one person. And I know I'm kind of going through this fast, but actually before I move on, I want you guys to write down what is your biggest content struggle right now, and then what do you want social media to help you with before we move on. And if anybody wants to share what their biggest content struggle right now with content is, I would love to hear it. Oh yeah. Here you go. You're welcome. You can share.
Share? Okay, so I never liked going on Facebook or social media, and I totally avoided it like the plague. And so I'm a little social media handicapped. That's it.
And I want to ask you guys, what do you guys want social media to help you with today? If anybody wants to share. Engagement. Getting clients. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about is if I was a stranger and if I were to go to your guys' profile, ask yourself, would a stranger be able to immediately know what you do within 10 seconds? And a lot of the times I say this because I talk to my clients and I ask them, well, what do you do? And it takes them 5 minutes to explain it. It should take you 30 seconds or even 10 seconds to explain it. So I have a couple examples for you guys on your sheet. You guys can fill this out as we go. But one of the things that I want you guys to write down is who exactly do you help? So I'll just use this example for a realtor. The realtor helps first-time buyers, and that's it. That's their avatar. They buy first-time. They help first-time buyers. And so I want you guys to get clear on that. Are you helping women? Are you helping commercial companies? Are you helping maybe or college students that need financial help? Get really, really clear on who is like that one person that you're helping. I'll just use Natalia as an example, but I know Natalia, she helps women specifically. And that's something that I even admired her for, and I went to her service for, because I was like, you understand women, more specifically, you understand my skin as a Hispanic Latina. And does anybody want to share who exactly they help or their avatar? Anybody?
I say individuals ready for Medicare.
Okay, that's good.
Bakers.
Bakers. And when you say bakers, is it women bakers, male bakers?
Bakers, anybody that loves to bake. Professional bakers, home bakers.
Leaders of nonprofit organizations or startup companies or corporations.
That's good. See, I like how his was very, very specific, leaders who have nonprofit organizations. And that's why I kind of push you with bakers, because bakers can be very broad. Make it a little bit more specific or niche based. Like, do you help women bakers? Do you help women bakers that are in their 20s? Do you help women bakers that are maybe moms, that are single moms, that are maybe not moms yet, that are college students? So that's what I want you guys to start like taking notes and picking up on. And then for the second bucket that I have, it's what problem do you solve? So again, I'll just use the realtor example, is that they help first-time buyers feel confident buying their first home. The problem that they solve is that they help first-time buyers buy their first home. So for example, with commercial companies, let's just say that you help a commercial company. Is there a certain like niche or industry that you help more with commercial?
Right now, I have a lot of apartment complexes.
Okay. And then when you come in and help them with their cleaning, like what specifically do you help them with?
Mainly their office and move outs from the residents.
And why?
They want to get that unit ready for the new person that's going to be renting. So we take care of just brand new space for this new person, and that's what we do.
Okay. So I like that she's very specific, that she helps apartment complexes that are commercial companies clean their space so that way they can get it ready for the next person. So that's the problem she solves. She helps commercial apartment complexes clean. That's it. So go ahead and write down like what problem do you solve, and if you guys want to share your answer, please feel free to do so. And then I want to push you guys even further and include like an emotion when you're explaining what do you guys do. So one of the things that I heard you say was that you help apartment complexes clean their space. But I'm going to take it a step further. You probably are helping them because you want them to feel relieved that they don't have to do that, right?
Correct.
Okay. So what is the emotion that you're helping now your clients with? Maybe as a baker, you're helping, and tell me more about like, what do you mean by bakers? Like, what is it exactly that you do?
When you're baking, you use vanilla as a flavoring. So you're flavoring.
Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month.
Your goodies.
And what kind of like stuff do you bake though?
Cookies, cakes, icing, anything that has to do with baking.
Is there a certain special occasion that you love to bake more for? What's your favorite thing to bake?
Bread. I bake bread like twice a week.
Bread? What kind of bread?
It's like just white bread, it's rustic bread.
Like loaf bread?
Rustic
And how do your clients usually eat that? Like if I was a stranger, I'm like, well, how would I eat that bread? Is it for breakfast? Is it for lunch? Is it?
Oh, that's all great, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
Really good. There's no added bad stuff. And there's no
So why would someone want to buy it with you versus the drugstore or the store?
pure.
Because it has clean ingredients.
Help me with this. I don't know.
Pure ingredients.
Yes.
No
It's really
preservatives.
good ingredients, quality ingredients.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you a lot of questions, is because the more that you can get clear on, well, maybe I want to purchase my bread from you because I know that I'm going to feel peace of mind, or I'm going to feel satisfied that I know that I'm getting a bread that has clean ingredients versus going to the store. That's the emotion that you're providing with your service.
Since COVID, since 21. So
You don't use vanilla in bread.
I don't use vanilla. So
You need to find something that you use vanilla in.
right. So cookies, big lot. How long have you been making? Forever. What does that mean? Well, what does that mean? What's forever? Okay, so since I was 15, I was 8 years old.
So 30,
That's how many-
30
that's
years.
how many years?
You've been baking for 25 years.
Okay, well, I'm gonna date myself, so.
I
You
like
just said
I
30
like
plus
25
years,
years.
50-some years, okay?
Like there's history, you've got Nick, you've
Okay.
got coffee pop, you've got
Right.
experience. You take it back to the old Testament.
And this is something that I always tell my clients, but I would push you guys to get clear on one avatar. You know, for example, I'm going to use Morgan as an example. She makes products, you know, but do you make a lot of products like custom with like their logo, I'm assuming?
No, I do, well, mostly I do like memorial stuff,
Mhm.
like when someone passes away, and they put them on like a necklace, or I'll do, like little easels with an image that I create for them.
So that's a perfect example.
Birthdays.
Oh, birthdays.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example because it sounds like her avatar is the person that wants to have something for a memory because of a loved one that passed away or whatever that is. So the emotion that she's providing is that now they have something that they can hold close to their heart. So that's what I want you guys to pick up on. I want to use Natalia as another example where she wanted to help everybody with their skin, and I told her, well, let's niche it down a little bit. Who do you help? And it was women. So the more that you can pick one person, the more that it's going to be clear in your guys' mind, especially with the apartment complex. That's your avatar, that's your person. Because if you say like, hey, we just provide commercial cleaning, people don't find clarity in that. People understand you better when you pick one person. It doesn't mean that you won't work with other companies or other nonprofits. It just means that when people go to your page, they understand in 30 seconds, what do you do?
Question. How do you solve the challenge of like boxing yourself into a niche market versus like trying to get bigger business? Like,
I think exactly that. I think at the beginning, a lot of people don't know you. I always say, you know, Walmart is successful because they sell so many things, but let's just take an example like a small business. A small business has to start with a product like Pandora. Pandora started with their bracelets, and then they expanded into rings, into necklaces, and all that other stuff. So they were really, really well known for a product before they ever expanded. So it's the same way. Like you want to start with one thing that you're really, really good at, and then over time you can start offering more. But I think at the beginning, when we offer too much, we just confuse people. And that's what we're not trying to do. We're not trying to confuse people.
Can you tailor your post to individual things? Like Yvonne says, she does a lot of different things. So can she tailor post to one thing and then do post for a different thing, and that is that confusing too, or?
No, that's actually perfect because her niche is a stylist, right? And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, how you guys can do that. And then one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is anytime that you're explaining something, don't overcomplicate it. You know, just put it in simple 6th grade language, because I think a lot of the time, you know, we say, I'm just going to use you as an example, but we say, you know, we help commercial companies so that way we can help them with their geography of this, this, and this. Because people have came up to me, explained that to me before, and then when you're explaining to me, you already lost me. I'm like, what? Like, and so you want to make it super simple, 6th grade language. If you need help, the beauty of it is that there's tools that can help you now, like ChatGPT, what's the other one, Claude. But again, one thing that I always like to harp on is that ChatGPT and Claude is only going to help you if you know what you're feeding it. So make sure that you have a little bit of clarity first, and then if you need help, then ask for it for help. Like, what am I not seeing, or what am I overcomplicating it? So once you guys get clear on who do you help, what problem do you solve, and how do they feel, hopefully you guys are writing that down. You guys can turn it into a sentence, and again, you guys can even throw those pieces of information and tell Claude or ChatGPT, help me come up with a sentence of, I help this audience with this problem so they can feel this way. For example, with Natalia, I'll just use her. She helps women clear their acne so they can feel more confident and not have to worry about looking pretty without wearing makeup. Because I know that was my struggle for a long time. I used to struggle with acne, and I used to tell Natalia, like, how can I feel more confident without makeup? And that's the transformation that she provides. So now I want to show you guys how, once you guys are clear on that, you guys can batch your content. And this is what I mean by batching your content. I think a lot of people overcomplicate content, like we have to have the perfect camera, we have to have the perfect lighting, we have to have, you know, the perfect dialogue. And I'll just use me as an example. When I first started, like I mentioned before, I am bilingual. So a lot of the times I would struggle with how I was talking, my stuttering. And so a lot of the times I wouldn't want to post. And then I realized that something a mentor told me was that every single time that you don't put yourself out there, somebody's going with another company that is probably doing less of a better job than you. Or somebody else is out there struggling or not getting the experience that they need because you're not putting yourself out there. So every time that you guys go to record content or create something, I want you guys to almost put yourself in the seat of like, how is this helping somebody else? Because at the end of the day, that's why we all started businesses, I'm assuming, because we wanted to help people. We wanted to help somebody with a service. We wanted to use our story to inspire other people. And so that's what I want you guys to remember when you're making content. At the end of the day, it's how can I help someone else? Even if somebody else is doing the same thing that you're doing and they're a stylist, I don't really care to work with them. I want to work with you because I like your personality, I like your energy, I like how you're professional. There's something about you that people are gonna like, even if they do the same exact thing. So I put some examples here for you guys. So these are 5 examples that you guys can take for the week and make it for your own industry. If anybody wants to share their business again, I can customize it for you guys. But I'm just gonna use Natalia as another example. So for a mistake, let me see here. A mistake that I wanted to share with you guys is that maybe one of your content ideas is why waiting until the last minute to buy medical products can actually hurt your skin. Because now you're spending so much money on drugstore products when you could have saved money by buying the right products. Another one could be, 3 signs that you waited too long for a haircut if you're a hairstylist. I'll just use a commercial company, but 3 reasons why you want to work with us, because that way you don't waste money on another company that is probably not doing the service that we're doing. So one of the things that I want you guys to keep in mind with these is use the questions that your audience is already asking you. Like, what's a common question that your guys' audience is asking you? Does anybody want to share?
What products are for like what skin struggles they have? So like if I have oily skin, what should I use? Or if I have dry skin, what do I need to use?
Yeah, so that's perfect because you said what products do I need to use?
Yeah.
For
their specific skin concern.
For their specific skin concern. That could be one content idea. And then maybe you break that down into even more ideas of like, these are the products that you want to use if you have oily skin. These are the products that you want to use if you have dry skin. As a stylist, these are the 3 pieces that I would wear every time you're going to a conference. And then women like me that are going to conferences are going to start looking at your content and say, oh, she really does know what she's talking about. Let me hire her so she can style me for an event. Or let me share your service with another company where you can maybe go do a presentation. So the more that you can teach based off your expertise, like you said you were a baker for years. I never knew that. That's something that you want to showcase in your content. Maybe you post a picture behind the scenes and it's just, your products on a counter. It doesn't even have to be your face. And in the caption you say, I've been making for 21 years and what made me get into it was that, this personal story. So it doesn't have to be super complicated. Use like bits and pieces of your life, even if you have never started a business. Did you say that you were starting a business? Or you?
It's like a branch off of the corporate headquarters.
Okay. I know you said that you were starting a business, right?
I'm starting a business.
Okay. So again, show the process of you starting, because again, that inspires other people to say, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it too. Does anybody else want to share? Like,
Any one of these, like, oh, well, I have a lot of opinions. I got a lot of opinions.
have a lot of
Then I should have cut the content, right?
yes, and that's perfect because those are actually the best piece of content on social media. People don't just want to learn sometimes on social media. That's what I always tell people. Even if you're starting like a business page and you have your logo and all your photos are just services, it's not that it's bad. It's that you have to think that nowadays we have robots, we have ChatGPT, we have so much technology that people don't connect with technology anymore. People don't connect with businesses. So the more that I'm going to challenge you guys to take it a step further. But the more that you guys can put your face, even on your business page or on your profile, the more that you can humanize it and show behind the scenes of you, the more people are going to connect with you because they want to see the human you.
So I have a question on this opinion situation because I have a lot of them. And there's a lot of like stylists in my on the internet, right?
Yeah.
There's like young ones, middle-aged ones, older ones, whatever, right? And there's a lot that there's stylists that, I mean, I follow a lot of stylists and I see what they do, and I'm not saying that their work is bad, their work is perfectly fine, but I don't agree with said opinion. How is a good way to go about saying, like, you know, this is a thing that stylists will tell you that I don't agree with it?
Just say it.
Okay.
I think a lot of people sometimes are scared to say things that they believe because they're like, oh, what are other people going to think? Or what if they think I'm mean? Or what if they think I'm this? Or at the end of the day, your client is actually going to respect you more for being honest. So if I were you, I would say, like, you know, this is something that I've seen in my industry a lot, and here's why I don't agree with it.
Okay.
You're not calling anybody out. You're not saying that anybody else is bad. You're just saying this is something I see in my industry that I don't agree with. And that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and even client wins. Like, you want to showcase that a lot because I think sometimes even as small business owners or as entrepreneurs, we're constantly helping people and we're just like, we want to help, we want to help, we want to help. Don't forget to brag a little bit, you know? If you just cleaned a commercial apartment complex, maybe you post a picture. Last week, we just finished. Are you a service-based entrepreneur that provides some kind of service, but you don't know how to create content in order to convert someone from following you into a paying client? I'm going to tell you exactly what to post in order to start generating more leads, attract high-paying clients, and get more DMs than you can possibly answer. I will help you how to find your niche, how to find your target audience, and craft offers that will attract top buyers every time you go to make a post. Text me content to 513-516-7332 to learn more on how you can get mentored by me for only $99 a month. Cleaning this apartment complex and they were so happy. Look at some of the results that we got for them, and they didn't even have to lift a finger because then people are going to trust you more. So something I want you guys to keep in mind is your social media is to teach, to build trust, to show proof, and invite people to work with you. And that doesn't mean that somebody views your profile and you're like, hey, can I get you on a call? I want to sell you. Ask questions. Hey, I saw that you followed me. How did you find me? And the more that you ask questions, the more that you build those relationships. I actually have a perfect example. Yesterday I was meeting with a client and she said, you know, sometimes I feel discouraged because people are following me, but they're not turning into clients. I was just using Natalia as a perfect example, but I think I followed her for almost a year before I started working with her. And so sometimes you have to keep in mind that trust in human relationships takes time. You know, think about your partners when you first met them. You probably didn't start dating right away. You got to know them, you went on dates. It's the same thing with Instagram. People are gonna follow you, they're gonna stalk you a little bit on your stories, and then they're gonna say, you know what, I'm finally ready to trust her. And then maybe the day you reach out and you're like, hey, how did you follow me? They're gonna wanna continue talking to you because you didn't just sell them on something. You got to know them as a human. And I wanna show you guys that if you guys go to my Instagram, I also talk about different formats. It doesn't mean that you have to do that. That's just if you wanna take it a step further. But again, going back to the Pandora example, if you're a big fan of rings, stick to rings. If you're a big fan of necklaces, stick to necklaces. So what I mean by that is if reels take a long time for you to make and edit, then don't do reels. Maybe just do photos. Or if you're a really, really big fan of reels and you're like, well, I actually like reels because I can just put a quick text and it takes me 30 seconds to post it, then do more reels for visibility. But something I want you guys to start doing is meet yourself where you're at. Because I think sometimes we put so many expectations on us of like, that person is posting 5 times a week, that person is posting 7. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Ask yourself at the end of the week, did I show up on social media this week to build trust, to teach, to invite people to work with me a little bit more? And again, I always say, like, it doesn't have to take that long. It can take you 60 minutes or 90 minutes in a week. So it's almost the time it takes you watch a Netflix episode. It shouldn't take you that long with your content once you have that clarity. And again, something that I'm always gonna keep repeating is stop waiting for the perfect moment. Because I think a lot of us, we're like, we're gonna get the camera, we're gonna get the lighting. You know, when I get more confident in speaking, I'm gonna show up. I don't like to show my face. I feel uncomfortable. If you're constantly waiting for the perfect moment, the moment is never gonna come, unfortunately. And I had to have a hard conversation with myself this year where I said, you know what? I've been saying that I wanna do more workshops, I wanna speak more, and I just haven't done it. I don't have an excuse. I just haven't done it. And so a lot of the times we just kind of have to jump and we have to go for it and take the risk, you know? If you fail, you fail. And a lot of the times I always tell my clients, when you first start, you're probably gonna fail, but that's how you learn and you get better. So again, I wanna use Lena as an example, but your expertise is the content. I've heard so many times from clients say, well, I don't wanna post on social media because I don't have a degree. I didn't go to school for this. I don't really know if I'm qualified to talk about this, but your life experience is your degree sometimes. Like if you went through situations in your life where you're like, I went through that and I learned from it, use that to share with other people because people are gonna be inspired by your story. Again, I grew up, you know, Latina, Hispanic, and even in Ohio, I didn't see a lot of girls that looked like me. And so when I started my translations business and I was trying to learn how to market it to other nonprofits and organizations, when they would ask me like, hey, can you translate this? And I said, okay, I can start this as a business. And I was trying to figure out how to market it. And then I looked around and nobody else looked like me that owned a marketing company. And so sometimes we think that there's so many companies out there that are doing the same thing as us when there's really not. And so I said, you know what, I'm just gonna own this lane. I'm gonna, you know, do marketing because nobody else looks like me and nobody else is doing it, specifically for women. I've seen that a lot, where a lot of these marketing companies are ran by men, and sometimes men don't understand us. Men don't understand how we think, our background, they think differently than us, and so that's why use your story to inspire your journey, to help you on your entrepreneur journey, because I promise you guys probably have more experience than you know, and you're just sitting on it. Again, nobody is waiting for you to be polished or perfect. I've worked with so many people where, you know, I'm like, I just want to work with them because they know what they're talking about. I don't really care what their content looks like. I don't really care what their website looks like. I just want to work with them because they know what they're talking about. And then again, if you guys want to write down these questions are also a great piece of content. You know, how much does it cost? I would make that into a post, Lena. Like when you start offering your baking services, maybe you make a post and you say, hey, did you guys know that we offer, you know, this bread at this price? We offer these cupcakes at this price. Because a lot of times I go on social media, especially when you're a local service-based business, I don't see a location, I don't see a number, I don't see prices. And so those are an important piece of information because at the end of the day with social media, something I always say too, it's not about getting 500 clients overnight. If you get one client that says, hey, I saw your profile, how can I get an order for a loaf of bread this week? That's a huge win. Somebody found you and it means that your social media is working. And again, I want to remind you guys, your confidence is going to get built by posting. Don't wait until you feel confident because you're never, that moment is just never going to come. And actually, another little trick that I have for you guys is that if you guys ever go to YouTube and go to your specific industry, so if I were to look up commercial companies cleaning apartment complexes in Phoenix, and I go on YouTube, look at their comments, or go to Facebook, look at their comments and see the questions that people are already asking. Because all those people that are asking those questions, that's content that you can already use that they're already asking. So make your life easier by just paying attention and observing to what are other people in your industry already asking. And again, I already told you guys a little bit about me, but I just want to introduce myself. You know, I was working at a corporate 9-to-5, and I actually went to school for social work and psychology. I said I was going to do that. And my last year at college, when I started volunteering with more nonprofits, people started asking me like, hey, can you translate this for my nonprofit, for my company? And I said, okay, I'm just going to start a side business for translations. And from there, I realized that when I was trying to market that business, there was no marketing companies that were Latinos, and there was no marketing companies that looked like me, specifically in Ohio. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna start this business. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about marketing. I just knew that I could create websites, I could create videos, I could create graphics, and it could help somebody. But I learned along the way. I didn't go to school for this. I mean, I knew something from my psychology degree, but a lot of it I learned from mentors, I learned along the way, and sometimes you just figure it out as you go. And so now, 5 years in, I've been able to help generate $250,000 for my clients. I've been able to grow their impressions by 1 million in just a month. And I've also supported more than 100 businesses. So it just goes to show that, you know, I feel like 5 years in, I still haven't really done a lot. But a lot of the times, like, we just don't realize how far we've come. And so I'm sure that all you guys have a story, but you guys just haven't shared it. And that's what I want you guys to share on social media, is your story. Because I promise you, there's one woman right now following you that's like, if she can do it, why can't I? If she can do it, why can't I? And I'm telling you this because as a Latina, I didn't know anybody around me that owned a marketing company. My dad was an entrepreneur, he did restaurants. And so I didn't know anything about marketing, but I was like, hey, can I do your social media for your restaurant so I can get experience? And he was my first client, and so I just learned from trial and error. And I actually have a bonus for you guys. Also, let me know if you guys are filling out the sheet. I know we kind of went through it a little bit fast, but again, use this sheet even in the future to write down, you know, what is one question that my customers are asking me? And before you leave, I want you guys to write down, what is the first post that you guys are gonna create? I really, really wanna see one post from you guys this week, so. And also, if you scan this, it is a little form just to ask you guys a couple questions, but if you guys fill it out, you guys will receive a free 30-day content calendar specifically to your niche. And one of the things that I also wanted to share was that we don't share our story enough. And I wanted to use this as an example, but even like Morgan, she's selling a lot of product-based businesses, especially as products. Sometimes we focus so much on the product. And I want to remind you guys that people follow you for your story. You know, so if I were you, I would post a picture next week and say, hey, you guys, just show your face, you know, show a headshot like this because people want to see that. People want to see your face. And then you say, hey, you guys, you know, I'm Morgan. I started this business because at the time I was really inspired and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And people like that. People want to connect with you. So that is it. Do you guys have any questions? I will say I have invested into a lot of mentors. I've invested into a lot of programs where I've learned. And so I think as an entrepreneur, even at the beginning, especially when you're bootstrapping, you're wanting to save every penny and hold on to every dollar. But the best piece of advice that I could give you guys is that sometimes you do need mentors to invest into so they can help you. And so I did invest into a couple mentors that helped me gain more experience, but sometimes you just have to take a risk and say, you know what, at the end of the day, if you lose that money, you learn something, but if you didn't, you gain something even bigger. So.
Very cool. Good job.
Do you guys have any more questions?
How do we work with you? How does one work with you?
So after you guys fill out that form, there is a question on there if you guys want a free consultation call, and I will reach out to you and then I'll send you a message and we can get connected.
Awesome. Very
Okay.
cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.